now possibly recording.
I hope we are. Hello and welcome back to episode 61 of the Minecraft Update, unofficial of course, podcast, where we're live in the Discord with webcams on Slack.
That's minorly terrifying, isn't it?
People can see us.
Don't know how I feel about this, but it'll be all right.
Yeah.
As long as they behave.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's it. Brilliant. Well, that's good news. Right. Okay. So, obviously, we like to start the show by thanking our patrons. We are now supported by Patreon, and we have 30 patrons again, which is fantastic. If you enjoy the show and you would like to help support us, you can do by going to patreon.com/the Minecraft Update. The minimum perks you'll get are access to our patron-only feed for bonus content when we record it, which we're going to be recording tomorrow morning. That was like...
Yeah, right while you're live. Yeah,
after my live stream. It gives you access to the live episode recorded in the Discord, although I want to talk to you about that, Slack, because I have feelings, but I want to wait till the questions for that. So remind me in questions that I need to talk about that, okay? Because it's my question.
Chat, you all heard that, yeah. Yep.
It gives you access to the Patreon-only Discord channels, and it gives you a colourful, but not very shiny, and not really all that much glowing Discord role.
Looks pretty shiny to me. I'm just putting that out there. Looks really shiny.
Yeah, your monitor's really bright, though, if I'm being honest.
No, me? I don't think I can do anything about that. I mean, I could do this, but I don't think that's going to help.
No, don't do that. I like it.
Okay.
It's good. I can see you better when it's bright, but that's probably... I'm just saying that's why it looks shiny for you. That's all.
Maybe. Okay, maybe. All right, so maybe it's my glasses. Hold on. Yeah, it looks pretty dull now. Yeah, it's definitely not shiny.
Yeah, it's a lot more blurry as well, isn't it, when you do that?
Yeah, definitely not as crisp and clean. Yeah.
Yeah. So apologies for obviously the people listening to this as an audio production podcast, which will still be going out weekly, of course, but we've got video stuff as well now. So if we refer to that, well, tough. It will be available on YouTube to watch later. Speaking of things changing, we got an awful lot of feedback last week, Slack, from our text-to-speech thing and our decision to get rid of our week, which you might notice, peeps, already, we still haven't talked about. Is it gone away? Well, no, but we'll get to that after we read out many, many, many feedbacks. Now, Slack.
What? I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Rather than responding to every single one, what I've done is I've curated the feedback into similar posts. So we've got a whole bunch on text-to-speech, and then we've got a whole bunch on our week. Some of them are a bit overlapping because some people talked about both. And then we got the normal feedback, which we can do normally.
That's a lot of feedback.
Yeah. So I think we should start at the top without the text-to-speech person helping us this week, and we'll just alternate reading them one by one and then respond to them all at the end. Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll start with the Manchu, who I am actually going to respond to. I've already broken my rule. Who says, please tell me the robo voice was a one-time experiment. Using them to read for you is lazy. They have no personality. I couldn't listen to the rest of the podcast after that. Oh dear, Manchu. What a sad thing to say. It was, of course, some fun. It was never going to be intended to replace me in Slack reading things going on forward. I thought it was really funny. And in terms of it being lazy, I've spent literally probably in the hundreds of hours now training those voices to speak the way I needed them to, and then setting up systems in order to get them to do it on the podcast. It was far more hard work doing that than it is doing our normal podcast when we just read them out lazily and getting them wrong. So I disagree that it was lazy, but I understand that you didn't like it. Fair enough. Okay, Slack, what's Whitebush got to say? Jeez.
Whitebush has to say that Trailer Voice Guy was quite amusing most of the time. Argumentative was funny, brash, not as much.
Kentucky Hicks says, enjoyed listening to the pod, especially the lisping Slack. Lol. The AI voices were fun for a bit, especially when they started arguing with you guys. See, I thought it was fun as well. Okay, Meerkat.
Meerkat says, hey guys, great pod as always. I enjoyed the banter with the new guy, but having an AI reading the items was too slow. Keep up the good work.
Meerkat, it was even longer for me in Slack because I actually cut out all the spaces between the spoken words in the edit. It took me forever. So yeah, it was way too slow. Okay, Preston says, robot voice was funny for a bit. may have been a little overused. I also felt towards the end, Foxy was not as present in the conversation while he was planning and typing what the robot was going to say. Would rather have 100% engaged Foxy. Yeah, okay, I will put my hands up to that and admit that I was not listening to Slack at all towards the end of the podcast because I was just trying to think of funny things to say with the text-to-speech.
You say not listening at all just then. I mean, that's more of an everyday instance and occurrence, but perfectly fine. Nathan Cool 4908 says, hello, podcast crew. I love the podcast and I listen to it while I cycle to school. When Foxy makes a joke, I almost fall off of my bike sometimes. Anyways, I don't really like the text-to-speech people because I can't really hear what they're saying. Keep up the great work. Nathan Cool 4908 died because his computer froze by getting too hot. Oof.
Wow. Yeah, that happens to me a lot. Villager01 says, hey, pod crew, I have a few things to say about the latest episode of the pod. First of all, I think the AI voices are a bit too hard to understand, as well as not being nearly as funny as Foxy as Slack stumbling over the feedback. I also think that you should keep a small Our Week section, like me, as John said before, which is actually later on because I reorganized it all. Also, this coming from a patron, so I'm not just saying that because of the paywall. Last thing, Slack seemed to have a lisp again this episode. Love the pod, keep up the great work. Yeah, and Slack's just showed off his lisp again, reading out Nathan's. It's going to be around for a while until Slack's gone back to
Actually,
the States,
I kind of noticed that Discord, for some reason, was using the wrong microphone there. So if I do this, hopefully we don't break nothing. Did that make a difference in Discord? No, maybe not.
You sound exactly the same to me.
Okay, well, Crisp is not supposed to be running, but you know how things are. Anyways, where was I at? Right, let's pull this back over here. Where are we at? Wildcat?
Yes. Yeah, sorry, I was just reading the chat going on. I shouldn't do that. See, I'm distracted again today because of this live series. Jeez.
I know. I'm watching you sitting there take a drink instead of... Yeah, I get it. Okay. Wildcat Dad 17 says, I will say I prefer to not use the AI voice for recording feedback or for reading feedback, questions, etc. I listen to the show because I enjoy listening to y'all, and part of the fun of that is when you're getting things wrong. Doesn't happen anyways. I don't understand. It is a lot to read poorly written items, but it is just part of the fun. You did that intentionally. I'm just putting that out there. Also, I understand why pulling the Our Week section out of the show to make a shorter, but I love the long format as always. Great show.
Okay, well, thank you. Faded Daddio says the AI guy was fun for a while, but I agree with others. I prefer you both reading the feedback. It's more fun and more easily understood. Also, it seems that you aren't getting all the feedback detail to respond to because of weird reading. My daughter and I tested a trial. Oh, the trail runs in... Jeez. See, this is why they should do it. My daughter and I tested the trail ruins in survival. It was very fun to carefully excavate downwards from the top and see the newly exposed blocks. We couldn't stop. We were excited to see what special item we could get next. I'm glad it's so big. Yeah, okay, let's respond to that, Slack, because obviously that's actually Minecraft stuff. So yeah. I love the fact that they've added that in. We recently even added into the good ideas bin that we should have more stuff like dungeons and things going on in the deserts. So that's great that they've added that. My problem is it could be so much better. It could look like something rather than just block spam.
Yeah, so. It's just block spam. It looks like you just told some randomizer to just go place, 200 of the ugliest blocks out there. I don't like that.
Yeah. And I don't mind it's got all the different variations of blocks. That's great. I have no problem with that at all. But just make it organized. Make it look like actual... when people go... I've watched archaeology documentaries a bunch of times before, and you see them carefully brushing away stuff. It all looks like the buildings that used to exist, just sort of missing the top parts and missing this and missing that. It doesn't just look like everything collapsed on itself, So I think they should do some more work on that, personally.
Yeah, it feels like it was thrown together really quick and needs a little bit more attention before it gets dropped into the game like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, next we got, what is that? Result? I don't know how you say that. Result? Maybe? Result 102. Says, hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jesse. I hope you all are well. I just wanted to say thank you all for the fantastic job you do with the podcast. It's a perfect level of information, sarcasm, and cynicism.
Yep.
Light-hearted prods at listening and host moment that keep me listening from when Foxy was doing it solo. Keep doing what you're doing and never change. P.S. As much as I love a good bit of robotic trailer guy, I don't think it's something I could listen to for too long, as in some parts it was a little difficult to understand. Many thanks and all the best. Result.
Okay. And the last one from the Just TTS stuff is Coding Gamer 360, who says, hello guys, I like the podcast, but I kind of don't like the voice person thing. Can you at least add the About My Week section at the end of the podcast? It's my favorite part, from Coding Gamer. Okay, so let's respond about the text-to-speech stuff, Slack, because clearly there's a lot of dislike for the text-to-speech stuff. I totally agree with you. Editing the podcast was not only hard work, but I realized it was a little bit overdone. I thought it was funny for a one-off. I do love the trailer guy thing. For some reason, I just want to include him in everything. But fortunately, he has a new home on my streams now, which is really strange. I spoke to you about this earlier, Slack, didn't I? That, yeah, like on my streams, now my stream viewers now have the ability to like write a command in chat and it'll either speak it in my voice or the trailer guy voice, and they love it. They wanted more of it. But you guys listening to this podcast, you hate it. So I guess it's interesting where it fits and where it doesn't.
It's weird because there was a time where when I'd started playing Minecraft again, and I was playing on solo worlds, I used to listen to audiobooks all the time. And at first I despised it, but it allowed me to listen to it while doing something else. So I could see where people who've never been really, exposed to something like that wouldn't like it, but I didn't mind it. But at the same time, it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't worry, guys. It's gone away. It will never, ever come back until next time. Okay. Let's go into the next big old wedge of feedback, Slack, which is all about us stealing away our week, hiding it behind a paywall, and making it difficult for people to know what's going on in our private lives. Starting with DJ Chris, 2019, who says, Foxy, how are you? I turned on the podcast while working on a time lapse just to find out I didn't hear your week or Slacks. Please bring it back because I'm not 18. Okay.
Tiny Raccoon is up next and says, hi guys, enjoyed the pod, but don't agree that it is too long. I personally quite enjoy the R week sections. It doesn't feel as if you are dragging it out, as it engages us all. So still very enjoyable to listen to. Is this 2 parts? Is it supposed to be another one there? You see, it starts over with hi all.
Oh yeah, Tiny Raccoon did many messages in the Discord this week. So yeah, that was just another one from Tiny Raccoon. There you go.
Okay. All right. Well, do you want to do that one, or shall I do that one?
I'll go for it. Tiny Raccoon says, hi all, I'm just letting you know, before I joined the Discord, I sent a few emails to news at the Minecraft Update podcast, but they weren't read or put on the pod. I was sending it to the wrong place. Did they not? Was I sending it to the wrong place? Did they not come through, or have you just not seen them? We'll put them through on the Discord, but would like to know. Okay, I do see all of the emails that come through. I check the spam, I check the feedback form, but not everything makes it onto the podcast because a lot of it's repeated, like particularly wish list stuff. I leave a lot of that out because we get a lot of it, and we get a lot of stuff that's already been talked about, and especially ones where people, it feels like a bit of a shame because people have obviously put a lot of thought and effort into it. But when somebody says, hey, I've got this idea for a whole end update, and these are all the different blocks we're going to have, and these are all the different mobs we're going to have, and these are all the different things we're going to have, it just feels too much. So I've put your one in this week, which is all about a different end update with new biomes and blocks and things, because I felt guilty after your message. But generally speaking, I'm leaving those out because they don't fit, because we get a lot of wish list and we get a lot of feedback. Bugdate, normally all the Bugdates go in unless it's one that's clearly not a bug or not, it's just someone pressing the wrong button. And questions, we don't get an awful lot of questions, so most of the questions go in. So, any thoughts on that, Slack?
No. I mean, not everything is always going to make it in. We've said that before. Repeat topics and stuff like that we've just engaged in over and over and over again. Sometimes some of them get left on the cutting room floor, just like, videos.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah. Mia's John says, I feel as though you should keep a short R week after you record the long version of it for patrons. It's the R week section that connects the audience to you both as creators and regular people. If you drop that, you may eventually end up having less growth for the podcast. I understand that it could sound rather rehearsed initially, but I feel it is important to connect.
Okay.
I would agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. But we'll do many explainings once we've got through this big old wedge of feedback. Xenon177 says, I think the podcast length is fine. Like, quite a few podcasts are around the 2 hour mark, and then there's the one show, which is generally over 3 hours and still has quite a lot of listeners, I think. Yeah, it's like got 40,000 listeners, and that's just the people watching it live. And I think the My Week section should stay, even if it's shorter and goes into less discussion. It's a nice way to start the podcast. Okay.
Right. Brood591 is up next and says, I've missed the podcast for a couple weeks now, and I've been having a great time catching up over the past few days. It has been a little distracting having a Slack's lisp, but it's okay. I hope you had a good trip to England. Regarding getting rid of the My Week section, I hope you will reconsider. It is quite humanizing a part of the podcast that illustrates that you are not just Minecraft content creators, but that you also have other interests and aspects of your life that compete for your time. If you do decide to keep the Patreon perk, at least make sure to let us know when Little Fire Lizard arrives, so that we can all send our love to Slack and Jen. Thank you.
Okay, Cubicake says, just want to say I agree with everything said here, and I'm sad that there's no more this week's section for non-patrons.
Nicola 9 says, I want to say I enjoy the podcast and the views you have on it, what is being added to the game. I do want to say I didn't mind hearing about what you guys did during the week. I like to hear what you guys have been up to. I liked hearing Slack's visit to the UK and what he was able to experience, and he sounded like he would rather be there than in the States. Keep up the great work, and don't worry about having a longer episode, both YouTube and podcast. I enjoy them.
Okay, the next one is from Screwlicious, and a very long one, and it leads us on to something else as well, which we want to talk about carefully. So let's just take a minute, just Slack, to address the Our Week section.
Okay.
I'm going to start by pointing my finger towards another very popular podcast. Some of you may have heard of it. It's a Minecraft one called The Spawn Chunks, who have their week section called The Render Distance behind a paywall. It doesn't make it into the show. It's interesting that, because obviously clearly all of the people that have bothered to send feedback this week actually very much like it. So you could almost imagine from, Pixel Riffs and Johnny's point of view, Joel's point of view, that that's a very good thing to do in order to generate, an income for the podcast, thinking purely as a business point of view rather than just, a human. That seems like a non-brainer. People enjoy it, but you don't give it to them, but you tell them it exists, they're going to want to find it. That wasn't our incentive for doing it. The incentive for doing it was that we've got a few bits of feedback from the iTunes reviews, and we got some feedback from we've got like a feedback thing on our website that links to PodTrack that does all of our analytics and stuff. And the people in there haven't been many, but the ones that have said, not all of them, but there was enough there to say the podcast was too long that it made me think we needed to cut something out and bring it down to sort of an hour and a half. But then I listen to every week a podcast called The Computer Game Show, which they don't do an Our Week section, but they do a section called What We've Been Playing, and it goes on for the majority of the show. And I hate it. It's my least favorite bit. They just labor games I'm not interested in. They go on about things I'm not interested in, and the bits I enjoy from that show are the feedback, the news, and the questions. And if they took that out, I would be really happy, and their show would go down from around about 2.5 hours to about an hour and a half. So that's another, point of view that I was coming from. And then there's the WAN show, which I don't listen to in full every week because it's ridiculously long, but I really enjoy it. And whilst they do go into a lot of detail about their personal lives within the business of Linus Tech Tips, they don't talk to you about what they had for breakfast or where they've been on holiday or this, that, and the other. It's focused on news regarding their business, new merch and stuff. It's a business platform. It's designed to sell merchandise and generate more viewers. So they're my only. I don't listen to any other podcasts, so they're my only sort of experience, I guess, around all of that. And that just all of the things. If you add it up on a piece of paper and put it on a spreadsheet, it says get rid of the My Week section and focus on the stuff that I would be more interested in listening to. So I'm really surprised to see how everybody's like, no, don't get rid of the This Week section because we really enjoy finding out what's going on, which is lovely. That's really nice. Slack, what do you think?
I think the My Week section should stay. I think as content creators, but specifically more as Minecraft content creators, we have to put ourselves out there more. It's something that we've done throughout our content that most people don't do. A lot of games don't do that. So I think it's good to leave it in there. As far as other podcasts, I really don't listen to them. But I mean, we connect with our viewers on more of a personal level than a lot of other streamers and stuff out there do. And even content creators. I know more about my community than I know about people in real life, and they've almost become a sense of family. So I can understand people wanting that to stay because it does connect on a more personal level. I mean, they're wanting to hear more about our lives and our weeks and things that have been going on. And I actually think that's a good thing, but maybe I'm odd in that situation.
So what should we do, Slack? What's the solution?
We definitely need to leave a version of it in my opinion, but I'm also open to interpretation. What do you think?
Yeah, okay. So taking another leaf out of the Spawn Chunks book, honestly and openly, without being like trying to sneakily rip them off in the background, they do quite a big section after their news where they talk about, or is it before? No, I think it's actually at the beginning of the podcast. I can't remember, where they talk about all the things they've done inside of Minecraft this week. And that goes on for a long time. And I have to say, when I listen to the Spawn Chunks, which I do regularly, not as much as I used to, again, I would quite happily and do often skip through those sections of the podcast because I'm not interested. I'm not there for that. I don't care what they've done inside of Minecraft. I find it goes on way too long and I just lose all interest. So I find myself skipping through until I hear they're talking about the news. So I think if we, rather than starting it off right at the beginning of the podcast, I don't know. I like to have a little bit of discussion at the beginning of the podcast, but I don't want it to just be 20 minutes of us just rambling about nonsense. But we never talk about what we do inside of Minecraft. So I kind of feel like maybe we should put it later into the podcast because we got 4 sections. We got the news, the Bugdate, the wish list, and then the questions that are all community driven, i.e. the news comes from news sources and then everything else is questions being asked to us effectively. So to break that up, to put something between the Bugdate and the wish list that was a bit more of our week, but not as in depth as we would do as like the separate patron recording, but more focused towards what we've been doing in Minecraft, but again, not going on for an hour. What do you think to that?
I like that. I like this week in Minecraft, what we've been up to. And I also like the idea of like a breakup between the welcome. Maybe we do it a little bit more bullet points. So, hey, Foxy, what's going on? How was your week? Oh, I did this, and this, Yeah. And we allow ourselves maybe 10 minutes or so to talk on that. And then we move on from that. And then we can have a this week in Minecraft if we've been doing anything Minecraft related. Yeah.
So like just looking at our main document that we use, I've written my bullet points for this week's bonus stuff. Now I could quite easily reel that off within the main podcast within a couple of minutes and just say, if you want to hear our full version of that, then you'll have to join the Patreon and get the bonus show. Which I feel like it's a really skeezy thing to say, but I don't think it should all be about that. And then obviously for this week, we've written in that our week in Minecraft, and I've got a lot of other bullet points that I don't normally get to talk about, which I normally sort of share on stream, but I can go into more detail on the podcast. And I think that would be more valuable for people. So do you agree? And people listening in the live show, do you agree? Do you think that's a good way to do it? Or would you just...
I think the waffling, though, is part of what sells what we do, too.
Yeah, but we can still waffle about it.
We definitely do. I mean, it's like take us recording together. It's a nightmare because we either do clips, and they're staged clips, let's be honest. It's like, hey, let's talk about this, let's talk about that, and let's talk about this. Or we have to record for 17 and a half hours and have a nightmare edit. And after about 2 hours into it, you skip everything else in the episode.
Yeah. It's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a real tricky one to do. Well, let's give that a go. We'll get to our week in Minecraft later on. We should have probably started with like a brief overview of what we've done this week without going into too much detail at the beginning, but we didn't. So maybe we can do that after the feedback before the news. But before we do any of that, we need to continue with this thing. and get to Squirrelicious's incredibly long piece of feedback, which leads us on to a very delicate subject. Are you ready, Slack?
Yeah, I'm gonna kick back here because you got it looks like 4 or 5 pages of stuff to read.
Greetings, Foxy and Slack. Thank you for an interesting podcast this week. Since you asked, I have to say I'm not a fan of text-to-speech being used to read things out. I find it much harder to understand because the word stresses are usually wrong, not to mention the impact of spelling errors. I'm sure there's a valid comedic use for them with certain interjections to a degree. You'll figure out the right balance. Yes, I think the right balance is just 0, isn't it?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. Regarding the bonus shows, I'm not sure you need to commit to publishing 1 per month. The patrons contribute per show, not per month. Also, I hope you don't drop your personal updates entirely from the main show. Just make a bonus episode where there is a specific topic if you want to cover in more detail. For example, you could choose to answer some questions as bonus content. You could even edit them from the main show if you're looking to keep it shorter. Personally, I have no issue with the 2-hour plus show. Okay, let me just respond to that. We don't get hardly any questions. I wish we had more questions to do on the main show and take out more of the wish list and more of the feedback and replace it with questions, because I really enjoy the questions section. As for structuring a bonus show every week or every month around a topic, we've found it really difficult to do that because we talk about Minecraft. This is Minecraft Update Podcast. So we either need to talk about Minecraft or something we have a joint interest in, which is ourselves. We don't really have any other crossovers to talk about. So that's difficult to do. So that's why I want it to be our week rather than another section of the show just for the patrons, because for me, I enjoy the other sections more and I don't want to, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Another suggestion I have is to list the content of the bonus show somewhere, maybe in the public Discord, so a potential new patron could have some idea of the additional content available if they sign up. That's a really good idea. That's a brilliant idea, Squirrelicious. We should absolutely have a list of what we talked about in the bonus show this week or this month in the Discord so everybody can see it and listen to it if they want it. They could sign up for a week just to listen to that one and then not sign up for the rest of it.
Yep.
Then there's the last bit saying, I'm sorry to hear Jessie has left the team and I wish her all the best. Foxy and Slack, I think you make a great duo. I love your dynamic and the way you support one another to make a great podcast, but please sack Orly Trailer Guy. We're all signing off. Okay, so we weren't going to even mention it on the podcast that Jessie has retired, to put it nicely, because whenever you talk about anything public like that, all of a sudden hearsay starts spreading and misinformation starts spreading and drama starts being created, and I don't think there needs to be. So we're going to keep this very vague and very, very short. But yes, Jessie has said that she doesn't want to be part of the podcast anymore. She tweeted the other day to say that she was leaving TB at the end of the season, which, other than a few very, very brief hearings of something similar privately before what was basically the first I heard of it was reading her Twitter post properly in depth. I don't believe there's any issues between anybody. I am assuming that Jessie is just wanting to focus on life at home or going on to something else. I don't know. But yeah, it's sad. And I would be very, very happy to have Jessie back on the podcast at any time because she was a very, very valuable member, a very, very valuable host. And she just added the third part of this, the third spoke to this wheel that made it turn round properly, I think. What do you think, Slack?
I'd agree on that. I would say one of the hardest things that I've had to come to adapt with during my time as being a content creator is seeing people that you're close to drift away from the game or life take back over or something like that. I mean, like and I'll be very vague about it. Jack was my best friend in real life for ages. Jack was my right hand as an admin. And, things changed in Jack's life. And now Jack has a new job and he's working all the time and I never see him. There's so many people inside this community. You think back and you're like, man, 2 years ago, I remember this person being around. I remember that person being around. I remember this person. And that's the one that always hits home the hardest is you get close to people. And it's not that you have any differences with the people or anything like that. It's that life changes and people change and people move on. And hate to see her go. Yeah. I do. But you got to do what makes you happy at the end of the day. You got to do what you need to do for either you or your family or whatever the reason is, maybe you hit a burnout in Minecraft. Maybe you got tired of being online. You know, there's always 1,000 reasons for something. And what I'm just saying is it's hard to see people that you know and care about go, but I wish nothing but the best. And I hope that one day she does come back.
Yeah, it totally sucks. It genuinely sucks. I was not a nice thing to hear. And yeah, it's one of those things. It's just one of those things. Not in our control. And we genuinely both wish Jessie the absolute best in whatever she moves on to going forward. Right, okay. Now that we have very delicately wrapped that one up, we can get into the normal feedback, which we got a whole bunch more feedback.
There's like 2 pages of stuff. Oh, come on. Right.
Villager01 says, hey, Foxy and Slack, I was just trying to add the RSS feed from Patreon to my podcast app and saw that I have spent 10,560 minutes listening to you guys. Keep up the awesome work, which is incredible. Well done. What's that in hours?
I don't know. Can somebody convert that? Yeah.
176 hours, which is more. That's every single podcast, I think. It must be.
Wow. That's pretty nice. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Jeez.
And, oh no, we got Squirrelicious up next. Okay. Another idea. Idea? This is feedback. Okay. Anyway, idea. The occasional quiz as bonus content. Maybe how about quizzing one another about yourselves?
No, that's a really weird thing to do, isn't it? Like, how would that even go? Like,
well, that would go something like this. I'd be like, Foxy, what was one of the most embarrassing things I left in a video that freaked you out?
Yeah, but I won't remember until you reminded me.
Yeah, the whole, I know why we separated, because there's a Netherrack mountain between us. Netherrack mountain, you're describing our love.
Jeez. Yeah. I think that would just be, I think that would seem very ego-y and weird. I wouldn't be comfortable doing that. But I want to do a quiz. We need a third host so I can do a quiz. Jeez, that was the one thing I used to like from the IGN podcast when I used to listen to that. There was the quiz they did every week. It was hilarious. But anyway, go on. It's like,
I mean, could an announcer guy read us a quiz without you actually seeing the answers?
No, we're not having him back. No, he's banned. Fired.
Okay, fine. Sad news, right? Okay.
Meerkat says, I would echo the vibes for above. For Foxy plus Slack duo, always fun. They do gel well together. Thank you very much, Meerkat.
It is an odd combination, isn't it, Manu?
Yeah.
We do bounce off of each other exceptionally well. I guess because you ignore me and I ignore you, and we just do whatever. But I mean, is what it is.
Maybe.
Right. Shadow the Prodigen? The how you say that?
I don't know.
Prodigen, potato, tomato, onions, and pears. Right. Referring to what I said about why we can't use hoppers with crafting tables. What I meant to say was that the crafting table is not an item container. Again, I apologize for bad grammar. Autocorrect is very annoying sometimes, so I can agree with that. I also wanted to say that I like the dynamic better without the automated voiceover reading stuff out. Mess ups aren't super fun, yes, although it is funny to hear you people laugh, and it adds more fun. That's a fair point.
It is. Okay. What I see regularly, and this isn't just to get, this isn't me telling you off, Shadow, or anyone else, but so many people will write a message and then walk away and not read it. And then, like, totally confuse everybody because it's wrong. Like, they'll miss a word out. Like, what you said that I meant to say, it's not an item container. That not was a really important word in that sentence. I would strongly advise people, not just writing feedback for the podcast, but just in general, when you're communicating with people through text, to read it, even like before you've sent it. But then again, after, I mean, I edit nearly every single thing I send because even though I've read it, it's always wrong after I press the send button. It's like it changes mid like stream to the internet. But read it through. After you've sent it and go, and there's an edit button, and apart from Twitter, everything's got an edit button, so just change it, so people can understand it, and then we wouldn't have these problems. Jeez. Okay. Rotated Alpha says, for the second podcast in a row, Foxy has referred to the upcoming update as 1.19.20. Just saying, this is because we get monthly updates now. I get so confused. It's 1.19 point something, isn't it? Jeez.
I mean, we're still in the .19s, I think. Maybe.
Yeah. But it's, I keep talking about 1.20 as 1.19.20 because I'm so used to saying 1.19 point something.
Well, rotated alpha is just deal with it. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right, Zenman16 is up next, and they say, I appreciate you didn't understand the bug report I submitted last time. It must be hard to try to figure out what someone is trying to get across, sometimes without the benefit of pictures to clearly show what they are talking about. Unfortunately, I don't see any options to upload images here on your website form, so I went and hunted down the bug report and resubmitted them to you. Apologies for not doing this last time, but I didn't think about it until later. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much, Zenman. That really does make a big difference when we get the bug reports, because not only can we look at them on the show and see what you're talking about, but I can put them in the bug list later on and refer to all the bugs and get people to upvote them. So all of our bug dates that have got bug numbers on go on the website, and people can go on them and look at them and upvote them if they think it's something that bothers them, and that's really helpful. Another option you've got, I know I keep pushing people to move to the Discord, but if you join the Discord, you can put pictures up in there as well. So, that is another way of doing it. But the bug report number is the most valuable thing we can have. So thank you for that. Okay, last piece of feedback is from LemonAiden saying, can you keep doing the wish list sound? I didn't do it this week. No. It's too I'm lazy, remember? Our first piece of feedback says I'm lazy. I'm sticking to it. I'm not doing it.
Wow. That was interesting. Good talk there.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
Okay. If you would like to send us feedback, if you have a problem with the show that you would like us to address, and we do listen clearly because we've listened to what you said before, there will be changes in the future as we take on even more feedback, I'm sure, then you can do by emailing us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, filling in the feedback form on the website, which you can't upload pictures to, or joining the Discord where you can upload pictures, which is wonderful. All of the links are in the description below for those. Right, Slack, it's news time.
Is it? Have we moved to news time already?
Yes, and we don't have many newses.
I thought this was the this week's section. I am so confused.
No, we're doing this week after Bugdate.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
What about this week in Minecraft?
Our week this week we said we was going to do. Jeez. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, okay. Just a brief one, though, because we've got to keep the long form for the bonus show.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to give them everything.
Okay, well, what have you been doing this week in real life?
Read every other word.
Yeah.
Okay, so in real life and not in Minecraft this week, Slack, I've been trying very hard to catch up with with all of the weeks I had where I was backwards and forwards in traffic all of the time. I'm still doing that twice a week, but only in the evenings, so I'm not sticking in quite as much traffic, which has given me opportunity to catch up. As a result, I was able to, this is Minecraft, record 2 episodes of Just One Bug, which I'll talk about in Minecraft, in our Minecraft Week section later. And I've done some video stuff as well. I've also, where do I start with this? Very briefly, my uncle had a lot of old audio equipment that I used to use a lot when I was younger, making music and stuff like that. And it needed to be picked up from the house where he used to live because the house is being sold. So I went and picked it up and put it in my garage, and it's totally overfilled my garage. Now I can't even get through the door in the garage anymore because there's so much of it. It's basically a giant big audio desk and lots of like old school audio rack equipment, but it's all like music making based, like MIDI interfaces and compressors and instruments and things like that. So it's kind of useless because everything you can do with that now you can do on your phone pretty much. So I don't know what to do with it. I don't know whether to give it to charity, put it on eBay, take it to the tip, or I just don't know what to do with it. I don't know if people would want it. But because I got these rack mount things, I thought I'm going to, rather than putting them in this giant desk which doesn't fit in the house, I will buy a rack and I will put the audio equipment into a rack. So I ordered a rack on the internet, which should have turned up today actually, but it hasn't. And I thought, that got me thinking about servers, because I've got like a bunch of old computers just sat around my house. One of them is a file server. One of them does nothing. Occasionally I use it for big chickens, like it on Minecraft. And I thought I could tidy all that up and actually make some use from those if I put those into, like, you can get quite cheaply now, like a PC case, which fits in a rack. So I bought a couple of those, and I took my old PC, which is really, really old now, and put it in one of those. And I went on eBay and I got a couple of very, very cheap, old, battered RTX 3060 graphics cards for less than $200 each, which was good. And I put them in there, and I thought I can use this as my AI server. I can use this as a rendering server. I can like send all of my files to that, so that when I've finished editing a video, I can just like click render on that, which is fine. But then I found out today, after actually installing it and getting it all working, that the motherboard is too old to really. It reads both of the graphics cards, but it doesn't really work with them. So I was like, oh man, I spent all this money on doing this. What am I going to do? So then I was like, well, I don't like my computer, even though it's not that old and it's fine. So when you do the thing where you just start looking at your wish list of computer components and technology stuff, and I figured out that I could upgrade my current computer to the latest tech, although I'm going to be going with DDR4 RAM rather than DDR5 because that's ridiculously expensive, for around about £1,000. And just changing the motherboard and the CPU basically, and putting the motherboard and the CPU in the old PC, which means my server will be a newer server, my good PC will be a better PC, my old PC will then just be surplus to requirements, and my wallet is empty. I'm going into this too long. I said I'd do this in 2 minutes and I can't. See, I waffle. Jeez. And then I finished Fringe season 4 and I didn't like season 3 of Fringe that much. No, season 4 of Fringe that much. And we'll talk about that in more detail when we talk about this properly.
Wait a minute, had you not watched Fringe before?
Yeah, but I can't remember it.
Oh,
That's why I'm watching it again.
Yeah, it's been about that long. It'd be fair for a rewatch.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't resist. You can't resist. New technology comes out and you're like, oh, must have. Must have.
I need it.
Yeah, because that i9 is just not good enough no more. You got to, yeah.
But it's the 9th gen. Now I got 13th, or at least I will have tomorrow. So
remember when you bought that laptop that had that 3080 on it and you were like, hey, remind me next time that I want to upgrade something to remind me of the headache that I went through with that and how it wasn't worth it? Foxy, this is a little late reminder, but here's your reminder on upgrading stuff. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I know. I know I shouldn't do it. I know I shouldn't, but I can't help it. I just can't help it.
Yeah,
and then that's like more savings gone in the bin but then my brain's going, yeah, but it's for work.
I agree on that. Like, I'm currently sitting here on this laptop and I've borrowed one of Jen's monitors, and I was originally only staying over here for 10 days. And of course, for those that are Patreon and had access to the bonus show, you know that I've stuck around in the UK and I'm going to be sticking around for a couple more months while, till baby is born here. So now it's in the process of me trying to get this rig up and running to be more efficient, because we get used to a way of things. You get used to having your lights, you get used to having your stream decks, you get used to having this, you get used to having that. And we've started developing a wish list of things that we need to get. But the biggest thing that had to be dealt with was the car, because I parked my car at the airport and it's gathering a fee every day that it's sitting there at this moment in time.
Yes.
Back. And so it's been trying to come up with the funds, because obviously when I decided to not get on the plane, that totally changed where all my finances were going to be going over the next few days. And pretty much I went broke really quick. So we've had to do some juggling and things like that, but we've got things situated out. We've now got the money to get the car picked up. We're having to FedEx the key more or less overnight to the US. We actually just dropped that off today. So it's on its way back across the seas so somebody can go get my car, which has already racked up about a $300 fee of just sitting in the airport. So computer part upgrades, I feel you on. I want them, but it's dealing with one thing at a time to get things situated out. And other than that, my personal week this week, just been adapting to life in the UK, more or less. Couple panic attacks.
Panic attacks?
Oh, yeah. Suddenly you get up at 2 or 3 in the morning and realize you're in a country where you don't really know nobody, you have nowhere to go, and if anything goes wrong, you're pretty much by yourself, except for the person that you're with. So
I got a spare room, buddy. You can come stay here. It's fine.
And yeah, it's just a lot. Like, I feel like I've abandoned my family over there at this moment in time, even though I haven't, and I got their blessings, and everything. It's just, it's a lot. I made the decision to stay based on what I consider to be the right reasons, but also I feel like I've put other people in a bind because of those decisions, but there's nothing we can do about the situation, Yeah. And in the long run, it's way cheaper for me to stay until baby's born than to go back, get the money again for another flight, make that flight again, because I don't know if you've ever made an international flight. I want to make those as little as possible. Those things are ruthless. Me and them don't agree.
They're not much fun, are they? It's been a long time since I've done a flight over to the States, but yeah. Oof.
Last minor blessing that came out of it, because I was like 2 feet away from the plane when I decided to stay. I actually got a refund.
Oh, nice.
So that money is reserved for booking the return flight back for when I got to go back. I didn't think I was going to get it because, last minute, and a lot of airlines are like, hey, you wait till the last minute, you're not going to get a refund. And I was literally standing like 2 feet from the door of the plane. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going. But I got a refund on that, and I am very grateful for that.
Jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, right. Well, save more of that for our separate one, because I want to hear more about that, because that's hilarious. But it obviously wasn't for you at the time, but sorry.
Quite a lot of panic.
Yeah, jeez. Okay, right. Now we're going to go into the news. Jeez, which means I can show you all the people watching at home on YouTube or in the live show. I have a change log. We're starting with Minecraft 1.19.73, which is the latest hotfix for Bedrock Edition. And good news, Slack.
Okay.
They have apparently fixed the player's sneaking aim, which means you were placing blocks all over the place when you were sneaking.
So this came out today, so I haven't been able to test that yet. Yeah, because that was broke.
Yeah. Now, I got before I tell you about that, actually, so this week, as I'll get to in our week in Minecraft soon, I did a couple of just one bug videos, and one of them was this bug, which means now that video's totally obsolete and it hasn't even gone out yet. That was due to go out on Friday. So I don't know what to do with that. There's still the bonus bug, which exists in the game. So I don't know whether to just like not re-edit it, but put like text over it going, this has been fixed now, and just put it out anyway. So that's annoying. But Cornerhard reached out to me after I complained to him about the fact that the crouch has item thing with my armor stands add-on and the bunch of marketplace maps that were kind of broken was broken. And he said it would be fixed in the next update, not as in like not 1.19 but 80, but the one after. But he messaged me to say it's been fixed in this one, but it's not in the change log, and I'm not convinced. So I've said thank you. Obviously, I can't wait to find out. I haven't had the opportunity to find out yet because I can't download this version of Bedrock yet. But I'm really looking forward to hopefully having my armor stands add-on back again. Other news in this one is that the ghast volume and volume distance were too low, so they fixed it. So gas are nice and loud again, so that's good news. Yay.
I mean, how close am I in the nether to your nether area? I mean, I do need a gas farm. I mean, what?
Squirrelicious says, the changelog's really far too small to read unless you have a TV the size of Rusty's. Look, tough. What do you want me to do?
They want you to hit Alt and zoom in with your mouse wheel.
There you go. Is that better? Now read it now. Jeez. Okay. The next piece of news is not, we didn't get a beta or preview this week unless there's one's just come out and I haven't been made aware of it. The next piece of news is Java Edition Snapshot 23W13A, which there's no new features or changes. It is all just bug fixes. Well, I guess there is a change. GUI can be scaled on the video settings screen by holding control and scrolling the mouse wheel, which is a nice, what's it called? Thingy of life.
But isn't control their button for like crouch?
No, it's in the menus.
Oh, while you're in the menus. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
and it seems specifically just the video settings screen, I guess. So, yeah, so there's just a whole bunch of bug fixes, and as you know, we hate Java Edition, so we're not going to go through them for you, but if you want to have a good look, there you go. Zoom right in, scroll down. You're welcome, people at home.
Nice. Dude, why didn't we do this sooner? That was such a nice way to cover all that.
We get in trouble there. Last week it was text-to-speech, and now you're just scrolling through the chat. It's just lazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's too big. So yeah, we're not going to go through that. But if you're interested, the changelog will be linked in the description below. Right, we are a bit short on news this week, so I have picked out a brand new piece of DLC, which seems to be causing a bit of a stir, which is for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. It's obviously marketplace content. I assume it's going to be free with it being this level of thing, but I don't know. But it is Dungeons and Dragons Slack, and the trailer makes it look amazing.
I'm surprised that they did a Dungeons and Dragons thing, considering the controversy that's been going on with D&D over the last few months.
Yes. Yeah. But the people, so the controversy with those, if I'm getting you correctly, was the fact that the owners of Dungeons and Dragons basically said, if anyone uses our IP, you've got to pay for it commercially, right?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
And then everyone went mental and they backed down and went, okay, you don't have to pay for it. So I think it's over. I think there are some stipulations depending on like the scale of it still, but I think generally speaking, it's fine now.
Okay, but let's touch on that for a second. It's okay now, but they knew this was coming out at that time.
Oh yeah,
because you know this had been in development. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably why they came up with it.
Yeah.
Try and get more money out of Microsoft.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm assuming the Dungeons and Dragons people will have made some money from this, because this sort of stuff normally goes out free on the marketplace. So obviously they're not going to make money from the marketplace doing that unless it's not a free one. But that obviously Mojang will have had to, or Microsoft will have had to pay for it, like they do the Sonic stuff and the Mario stuff and things like that. So they'd have made some money, I think. But it looks interesting. Now, I know it's not really part of the news. I don't want to the audio. But have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, quite a bit in the past.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to give it a go. I got invited by Shep once, but then it never happened. And yeah, I've never done it. I've never played it, but I'd absolutely love to give it a go.
Oh, me too. I'm curious how their interpretation of it is going to be online like this in the Minecraft. That's definitely something I want to try out, and if it's not too expensive, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, I mean the trailer looks incredible, but I wonder
the trailer looks really good.
Will this be single player possible, do you think, or is it going to be only single player?
No, it's got to be multiplayer. Come on, it's Dungeons and Dragons. One of the biggest things about it is that it's multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it doesn't mention that anywhere. However, our last piece of news is that it comes with something called the Monstrous Compendium Slack.
Okay. Excuse me. All right.
So the Monstrous Compendium is basically a PDF that have released, which gives you all of the stats on the very, very few vanilla Minecraft mobs that are in there. Now, it says Volume 3 Minecraft Creatures, so I'm assuming there's other volumes, but you download this directly from Minecraft.net. And if you take a look at that, it's basically got a creature summary for the Blaze, the Creeper, the Ender Dragon, Enderman, and Wolves. And that's it. So, again, having no background or experience with Dungeons and Dragons, to me, this looks like Top Trumps cards, because you've got like Strength, Dex, Con, whatever that is, Int, Whiz, and Cha. It's kind of a little bit like Elden Ring for me. That's I don't. Oh, I see. So it shows you before, does it? No, it doesn't. I don't know what any of those means. So, but it's interesting that they've gone to a lot of work to do this.
Could be interesting. Definitely. Is it out now, or when does it come out, or?
I don't know, actually. I assume. Oh, it says coming soon. So no, it's not out now. They're probably still having discussions with the Dungeons and Dragons people about how much it costs.
All right. Probably.
No, I don't know when it's coming. It just says coming soon, but I'm quite excited.
Look at that. If you go back to the main post on Minecraft and you scroll down a little bit, there's images of like new weapons and stuff like that. That's being added into it. It looks pretty cool.
I don't know if I can get back to that now. Where's
the go scroll down there? Yeah, there. No, right down below it. Pictures. Yeah.
No, I think that's that's people. Surely, that's not in. Surely that's not in the game.
These new items are wild. I don't know. Be interesting.
Maybe that one. Maybe the double A. No.
That's a Thanos sword. Can I have that? Can we? I want that on TV.
The crafting grid's too big.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I want the Thanos sword. Okay, can you get me that? Look. I will back you, and you getting something crazy on TV if you get me the Thanos sword.
Look, if you look at the items and the weapons they're using in the video, they don't look like that. They look like just retextured Minecraft weapons.
No. I want Thanos sword. Yep.
Okay, right. Okay, that is it for the news this week. Unfortunately, it's a sad time, but that's just the way it is. Which takes us swiftly into the bug date. Slack, you got any bugs?
This week bugs? No, aside from the one that apparently has been fixed, which dealt with the sneaking, which was super annoying.
Yeah, no, me neither. I haven't really been playing all that much apart from my cactus farm thing. So no, I haven't come across any bugs per se. So we'll go straight into Captain Cavemon, who says, howdy all, listening to episode 59, and y'all complained/commented about the lack of bugs. Well, I have one. I went camping for a week and came home to find that Minecraft had broken my sister-in-law's realm. First, I couldn't get on, realm auto-updated, and I didn't. And then I found that the cool add-on packs I used were broken. Now I have to go to this webpage and hope he has taken the time away from his loving family so he can now fix my favorite trader, Mr. Barbecue. Thanks for all the laughs you and the TB have given us over the years. TB team, sorry. Captain Caveman died from a lack of good barbecue. Mr. Barbecue broken, the wandering trader? No, that's no good. No one's told me that. Oh, jeez.
Wow. Good job there, Foxy. Way to stay on top of your ad. I mean, what? Huh? Right.
That's one of those. It's just a resource pack. They should never break. It's the add-ons that break. Oh, jeez. Realms is a problem. It's not that.
Oh, my goodness. Don't even get me started because I can't stand the new command block syntax things. I despise it. Right. Zenman16 is up next, and they say, last week I reported a bug to you related to a target blocks where comparators can't read through the target block, and you said it's not a bug, but this is a bug report and it's still open for it.
Hang on, I'm going to share my screen with the picture of the bug report on. It's so small you can't see it. There you go. I've zoomed in a tad for you there, and it says a comparator gives no output when reading a container through a target block. I just don't think it should.
It shouldn't. It's technically not a solid block.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not a solid block. It's got the same kind of properties. It redirects redstone. It doesn't. No, that's not how that works.
No.
I don't classify that as a bug.
No, I don't. But who are we, Slack? Who are we?
However, this issue has been temporarily closed and awaiting response. That was January 22. So this is old. It's been reopened.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay. Well, Rizzle 102 has got another bug saying, oh goodness, it's back. Lock away your tridents and hold on to your loved ones. The disappearing trident bug is back. It seems that when an area is being unloaded, tridents are either falling through the bottom and killing chamber and floor and just ceasing to exist. I feel like we're reliving the greatest hits of Minecraft bugs these last few months. And then they've given us the report number, which you can obviously see. Thank you very much for the report numbers, by the way, peeps, because now I can show it.
Yeah,
I can show it.
I'd heard about this bug making a return. Yeah, tridents disappearing and trident killers. Nice.
This says it affects version 1.19.63, which is quite concerning because I got a bunch of trident killer things in this version.
You mean your whole fortress farm?
Yeah, So there's my fortress farm with what's that got? Like 6 or 8 pods in it. There's my my mob farm. We've got our emerald farm. We've got there's another bug. I wish I had the bug report for it now from T-Man. The do not go to the raid farm on TB. Oh, really?
Do not. There's a bug with it now that it affects you with bad omen while the raid's going on that you can't see, that you can't unload. So like you go there and a raid captain spawns and dies. When you leave, it shows you no bad omen, even if you kill yourself. It still, when you go to a new village, it will trigger every time.
Fantastic. That's exactly what we need. Brilliant.
Yeah, don't go to the raid farm. I'm just warning you.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I won't. Oh, we got the witch farm. We got the gold farm. They're all Trident killers. Everything we've done's Trident killers. I've got my my drown farm isn't, is it? That's just I kill them myself one. The one that doesn't drop tridents because drowns don't drop tridents when they convert. Or come from a spawner. Jeez.
Big brain movement there, wasn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for the bug date. If you've got a bug, if in the unlikely event that you found a bug in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and we know it's not going to happen, but just in case you do, you can let us know by emailing us news@theminecraftupdate.com, putting it in the feedback form on the website, or joining our Discord, which is the best place to leave them, because then you can leave pictures, you see, and then we can all see what you're talking about.
And you can also take part in the live shows if you're, set up right with the shiny row.
So now we're going to go into our brand new section, which is our week in Minecraft. How have we ended up cutting out a section and now having two more? Why have we ended up with the extra one? It doesn't make sense.
Because
we need Minecraft. Go on.
Oh, this week in Minecraft, I decided that it's time for me to relive my punishment phase, and I've started a giant nether build in the overworld once again. And on TB, I've been working on trying to clean up my main base, which is really, I have no base on TB. I have farms. So I'm trying to isolate all of them, get them all cleaned up, get the storage set up so that I can eventually just start going around the server building things. It's short and simple. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. You don't want to go into great detail and lengths about the block palette you've used and how you place them and all of that sort of thing.
Okay. So I'm currently going with this is fancy here: green concrete and black concrete.
Ooh.
In my main base, and it's trying to figure out how I want to get everything situated out and keep lighting in is the biggest issue. In RTX, I will say it absolutely looks amazing using the frog lights, but in vanilla, it just looks so blah that I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Oh.
But that's the TB thing. The thing I'm actually excited about, though, is the Season 2 base, the Netherrack Mountain. I'm not doing the Netherrack Mountain this time, but I am doing a giant nether build that is going to consist of nether trees. I've gotten real excited over something. I had like 3 versions of nether trees that I did before. I called one like a Crimson Cherry.
Yeah.
The quartz one, which also used like the Hyphae and the blue blocks and everything like that. And then the ancient debris ones. When I built those before, we did not have copper in the game.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going for turned copper or orange copper?
No, turned copper. Turned copper mixed in with the blue nether wart and everything. Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
Is that the smooth copper block or the chiseled copper block?
Actually, it could go both ways to add texture into the thing. Yeah. Why are you making it worse on me? And see, it's got stairs and slabs too.
I know. I was just going to say that. It's a shame the copper rods don't.
Oh, if they did,
why don't they? They should, right?
Don't know. That feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah, because they'd make good branches.
You know what would be interesting with those? Yeah, if they would make good branches, is if they turned and they kept the same properties that like normal copper does. So the longer your lightning rod is sitting out there, the more oxidized it gets. And then when it gets hit with lightning, you would actually get a visual cue. Oh, look, it's back to normal copper again. It's been hit recently.
Ah, yeah. Oh, that'd be brilliant. Yeah. Why didn't they add that? Jeez, why did we come up with all the good ideas, Slack? That's not our job.
No, definitely not.
Okay, have you got anything else?
Not offhand. What have you been doing in Minecraft this week aside from your Just One Bug series?
Okay, so I built what I call the die scraper, which is a skyscraper for all of the different types of dyes. So at the bottom, there is a flower farm that will do all of the different types of flowers. Above that, I did a sea pickle farm, which will do all of the different types of sea pickle, Slack.
But there's only one.
And then above that, I did a cactus farm, which I then at the end of the video discovered that the way I'd built it, which I thought more cactus equals better. I just thought there's maths, more cactus equals better. But it turned out squishing 400 cactus into a space where realistically there only should have been 200 made the loss so big that it was actually less efficient than you get more characters back from taking half of them away. So I needed to rebuild that. But then I realized if this is a die scraper, it also needs to be able to generate squid ink, and it needs to be able to generate glow ink sacks. Now, glow ink sacks it could have done because they'll spawn. Glow squid will spawn in any biome underground, but squids will only spawn in oceans and rivers.
Yeah.
So I had to move the chunk. I had to move the entire skyscraper a few chunks across. So it was in a river biome, which I'd rather it was in an ocean biome because you get a higher density of squids in ocean. You get 4 at a time, whereas in a river you only get 2. But unfortunately, even though it's right next to the ocean, this village where these skyscrapers are, it was all just beach and beach and river. The ocean biome. So I went round for ages on stream with my little armor stand, like telling me what biomes it was. And the ocean was so far away from the edge, it would have looked really stupid having a skyscraper just out there in the middle of the ocean when I want it in the village. So the compromise was I've now got it in a chunk that's actually close enough to the other skyscraper so that when Chuck's AFK at my mob farm, the cactus will grow at the same time as well. So I dug underground and I built a glow squid farm underneath this thing. And I made sure it was low enough down that when I'm AFK down there, nothing's going to spawn above the ground because I'm low enough down. So because glow squids share the same mob cap as animals.
Yep.
So no cows, sheep, or anything else can spawn on the ground. Turtles can't because there's no sand around. So the only thing I have to worry about would be other glow squids spawning in caves. It turns out, after digging out a one chunk thing and waiting for 3 hours for some glow squid to spawn while I was AFK and nothing spawning, that behind every single wall there are no less than 3 different underwater ravines and water cave networks surrounding on every single side of the chunk that I'm in. So I went to one and I was like, wow, this is massive. This is going to take me ages to try and get all the water away from here. And then I dug for a few blocks above us an entirely different ravine just above it. Just as big.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I spent one stream with lots of netherrack trying to just fill one of these things in and just getting nowhere because it took too long. So we ended up just slabbing it out underwater. But I've still got a whole bunch more to do, I think. And it's still not produced any glow squid at all. So that's good fun. My Just One Bug episode, as I mentioned in the news, I've done 2 of those, and one of them I need to throw in the bin now, which sucks because Mojang stole it from me by fixing that bug. How dare they? I didn't think we'd get another hotfix. I really didn't. Why?
No, I didn't expect it, but I'm glad because that crouching bug is bad. Bad.
Yeah, I guess
Horrible.
It means we can update to 1.19.70 on TB now, but I don't see the point. I don't want to update the server every month. I know it doesn't seem like much every month, but it is. It's entirely irritating. And most of the time, it's not every month because this time we've had 1.19.60, then 1.19.63 said, oh, yeah, that won't work with 1.19.60, even though it's a minor update. So you have to update the server for that. Then we had like a couple of weeks after that 1.19.70, then 71, 72, now 70. It's ridiculous. I can't deal with it, Slack. There's too many.
It's too many too quick is what it feels like. I love the changes, but managing servers and everything, it becomes a nightmare. Yeah.
Just get it right the first time. Just give it a couple of extra weeks, right? And then put it out. Jeez.
No,
okay.
No.
My final piece of what I'm doing in Minecraft this week is less about actually in-game and more about marketplace stuff. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've been working with somebody for 7 months now who creates their own marketplace partner, but they create so many skin packs they actually need to basically offload them onto other marketplace partners, which is technically a boo-boo thing to do now in order to get them all out there. So I've been doing that. I've been putting them out pretty much 3 a week for it was 3 a week for a while, but now the whole marketplace thing, it's instead of being able to go through all of your things in your like your skin packs, you would upload one and then within a week you'd know whether or not it had got through or not. But now it's 4 to 6 weeks for each thing, which is crazy. But yeah, I went through all of the statistics on how much they'd earned. And I obviously get a small commission from that for putting into on mine. Yeah. But I don't earn much. And I was thinking, well, if that's how much they can earn, I could pay somebody a reasonable amount to make my own. 'Cause I don't want to make skins. It takes too long. And I'm not a good enough skin artist. But I'd love the opportunity to work with a skin designer working for me, effectively making me 3 skin packs a month with like 10, 12, 15 skins, and I haven't decided on how many. And I think looking at the figures, I could probably pay anywhere from about $5 to $7.50, $5 to $7.50 per skin for that, and still over time make a reasonable profit, which I need to do something, because as much as I'm earning a small commission through doing this, I'm not allowed to do it anymore. Marketplace says, no, you've got to make your own content. You can't upload other people's stuff now, which is fine. But I haven't got the time to do that. So then I thought, I wonder if I could train AI to produce skins. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm thinking I'm going to just get a whole bunch of skins, go through them and like try and categorize them properly. Because in order to train AI image generators, you've got to describe the image, which obviously doesn't look like anything a skin, does it? It's a 64 by 64 pixel just mess. And I think if I could describe it properly, I wonder if I could teach Stable Diffusion to understand what it's looking at and then be able to say to it, I want a Minecraft skin of a guy wearing a helmet, and see what it comes back with. Just as an expert, I don't think it'd work. And I would feel very, very unethical putting marketplace skins out, generated by AI. But I thought that'd be a really interesting thing to do. So I'm gonna do that in my spare time once I've finally finished putting all of my new old new computers together, and see how that comes out. So there you go.
Yeah, that one sounds like it's treading on, I don't know if I guess a moral territory maybe is where that's treading on, because different people are going to have different opinions on that. Interesting.
If I just went to like the Skin Index website or whatever it is and downloaded loads of other people's skins and trained it, I think I would feel ethically wrong for doing that. But if I'm training it on my own skins, I haven't got a problem with that, because you're not using anyone else's work. It's basically just recreating your own work, but slightly different. I don't think it'll work. I don't think it will be able to do it, but I'm really interested to find out and see how that goes. I just think it would make a fun experiment. I didn't know whether something like that would make an interesting video. I know it would certainly make a good bonus show bonus show thing, talking about it, like how it goes and showing some of the things off that it's done. But I wondered if that would make an interesting video, with AI being a bit of a hot topic at the moment.
Well, I don't know. AI, man, it's coming out everywhere now. I got because I use TubeBuddy. I got a thing from TubeBuddy in the email the other day. They're like, if you upgrade your membership, we will now include AI short suggestions. We will scrub all your videos, look for the areas with the most watch retention, and cut these into clips that you can upload to YouTube for shorts. And it's just like,
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I got an email, a Twitter DM from a company that is now put together using ChatGPT, an AI talent manager to get brand deals. And I read it wrong originally. I thought they said they'd basically been scraping loads of email addresses and teaching it, who to send stuff to. But no, turns out obviously they are a talent managing agency, and they've been producing emails on behalf of creators for a long time, and they've basically trained in this AI to write emails in a specific way so that they are more likely to get you a brand deal. And they're doing that for free until 2024. And they're asking me, would I like to take part in it? I was like, well, I've never had a brand deal. I don't really know, but I think it's a thoroughly interesting thing to do. So
definitely interesting. Definitely.
Yeah. So there we go. That is our weeks in Minecraft. We are going into the wish list hot and fast.
Are we on the wish list?
Yeah,
I'm lost. I'm lost on the document. Where's the wish list? There's bugs. Oh, here it is. Okay.
It's below our week in Minecraft, Slack.
Look, everything got rearranged. Confusing.
Starting with Firelight 360, who says, hi, pod crew. What if you had sideways pressure plates? That would be great if you're falling down a hole and the pressure plate opens the door. Or you could use tripwire hooks and string.
It's amazing. Tripwires have been in the game for a while now, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tripwire hooks do suck, though, because they need like those extra blocks for the tripwire.
And they only detect the items like one way. If you're trying to bounce the item up, it doesn't work.
Does it not?
No.
Oh, wow.
Bug.
So I wouldn't actually mind sideways pressure plates at all. I think that's not a bad idea, to be fair. Oh, that was what I wanted to say in the feedback Slack. I've remembered. Remember I was going to write something in the questions and then there was something else and I've forgotten what it was, but I've remembered.
What?
I was going to say, now that we've changed everything around so much and we're supposedly doing an extra long hour week for the bonus show every week, should we just do all of the live shows just open to everybody?
Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
Yeah. Okay, good. Right. Yeah. So what do you think? Sideways pressure plate Slack. You don't like vertical redstone, do you?
No. I'm gonna fun idea or no. Yeah.
I'm putting it in fun ideas then because I really I like it. I think it's great. Okay.
You have it as a fun idea then.
Thanks, Slack. I appreciate it.
Cue inaudible, sound effect. Yep. Okay.
Which one was it? Was it this one? It was.
Moo. Yeah, moo. Right. Next we got Tiny Raccoon up and they say, hi all. Please, can we have a Trident enchantment for damage? Impaling is fine, but Tridents are basically useless in PvE. Also, can Riptide Tridents work better in a pocket/bedrock? I'm not sure if they are really bad in both, as it was annoying to discover that you travel for 30 blocks and then just fall and die. Kind of like gliding in Java would be so much more fun. Even higher level Riptide would be nicer. Tiny Raccoon died after falling from a Riptide Trident.
Tridents are an underwater weapon.
Yes.
Designed to be used underwater.
Yes.
In which case, the impaling works very, very well. It's actually quite OP how strong impaling is.
Yes.
The alternative to a trident above the water is a bow. And whilst it might not make you fly in the air, rockets do.
Yes.
So I'm afraid.
And as an added bonus, you can Riptide out of water, deploy your Elytra, and then glide down.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the idea that they Riptide you up in the air if you don't have a Elytra and you just fall and die is that it's supposed to be used in water. I know not everybody does. I know people go around putting puddles everywhere and using them to take off, but the idea is you're using them to maybe hop out of the water and land in more water, or even just Riptide under the water. I know, again, you can use them in rain, which I don't think you should be able to. Personally.
Oh, I love that. No, I think that's good. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I would take that out if it was to me.
Then we would fight over that one. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Okay, next one. Tiny Raccoon. Again, many Tiny Raccoons there. This is the one I was being mean about in the feedback earlier.
That's massive. All right, good luck.
Who's ready for an entire end update explanation? I am. Are you ready for it, Slack?
Yeah, I'm stoked, as you can see.
So when we get to the bottom of this, hopefully you'll all understand at home why I cut this sort of stuff out normally, because it is an idea, but it's too many ideas all at once. So anyway, hi all, my wish list idea for today is that one you've probably heard many times, but maybe not in this form, so please hear me out. An end update where phantoms are moved to the end. No, I don't want knocking off the void into the void.
No,
2 new biomes are added. The end wastelands, a variety on the normal end landscape, but with sparse, giant, dark brown trees made of dead wood. I think they would be grey. There would also be fallen and smaller dead trees. I think the end update should absolutely have wood in it so that you can survive in the end 100% like you can in the Nether now. But yeah. The other biome would be corrupted islands, a dark bluish-green theme where large phantom nests are rarely found. No, absolutely not. These would have 1 to 3 spawners, depending on the side, as well as a new mob, the Crawler. A small mob about the size of a bee that crawls up all surfaces and has a poison with a nausea or new but similar effect applied when it attacks. It could drop down corrupted pearls, which will always take you to the nearest solid block when they are thrown. That's just chorus fruit. They could also be found in large, hollow, fallen dead trees. The phantom nest would have a very good loot, maybe netherite or a new endor, possibly new enchant too. Thanks for reading this very extensive email and the great pod. Tiny Raccoon died after getting lost in the barren end for days straight. The thing is with that, Tiny Raccoon, go on, Slack.
No, go ahead.
If that was all that was in an end update, I would be mighty disappointed that they could have done so much more with it. There's not much there. But then, as just ideas as part of an end update, it kind of seems no. It just doesn't. Like all of the other wish list things that we read out are normally, I would like this particular thing to do this particular thing in Minecraft, right? But this is, I want all of these different things in all of this, which is a very specific, obviously, thing to you and what you want. I kind of like your little small mob, which is kind of reminds me of an endermite that can just crawl up walls. I think that would be interesting. I don't know about corrupted pearls. They just basically sound like ender pearls that do what chorus fruit do. Yeah. And if they're just going to teleport you to the nearest solid block, why bother throwing them? And I like the idea. I've wanted Deadwood in Minecraft for a long time because that's in a lot of the mod packs and it looks great. And I also like the idea, and with some of the mods, when you walk on it, it's not called Deadwood, is it? It's called something else. When you walk on it, it like breaks. So it's temporary, which is quite a nice feature.
Well, was that word petrified or
petrified? Like yeah. So, and I think there were petrified slabs in the game a long time ago in Java Edition. So there are elements of some interesting ideas there, but there's way too much to throw the whole lot into the good ideas bin. I'm afraid it's just not going to happen.
It's too much. Come back with smaller good ideas, not one big massive one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, next one.
Robo Rufus 7 is up next and says, "Hey crew, I think they should add a wax to Minecraft. 1 honeycomb equals 4 wax. You would use it to make candles, wax, copper, and signs. I feel it would make it so you don't have to make a hardcore bee farm. Maybe you would be able to make wax statues and they would act the same as armor stands. Thanks for the pod. Can't wait to hear from Jesse again."
So basically, you just want to make honeycomb 4 times as much of it because you use honeycomb to make candles, you use it to wax copper, you use it to wax signs now, the editable signs. So you're basically saying, I want my bee farm to output 4 times as much as it does. I think the honeycomb amount that you get is absolutely fine. The wax statues idea is interesting, but I kind of would, I'd quite like to be able to either like petrify a mob or like freeze a mob. So I wonder if you could like wax a mob, like a pig was walking along and you just wax it and it's just frozen in that position. Could be quite funny, but I don't imagine them adding that into a game. But
I could have fun with that. Like go to your house and stand at the door, wait for a creeper to come right up to the door and wax it right there.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be brilliant. And maybe like the wax would eventually wear off or something if it was on an animal. I don't know.
I like the idea of freezing mobs. That we totally took this idea and totally changed it. Yeah.
So, but I think if we're going to add freezing mobs into the game, we need to elaborate on that really. Greystone83 says, "My wish list idea is to be able to feed nitwits books or even enchanted books so that they become normal villagers. It would be nice if there was a way to we've talked about like having villagers that we could improve their book trades by them leveling up, which I thought was a really good idea. But it would be nice to just not have to kill nitwits because that feels a bit mean, doesn't it? You know, there's a lot of connotations there with villagers being humanoid that some people in the world are just not good enough, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't want to go any further than that because I feel like we're on thin ground there, or thin ice, or whatever it is. Shaky ground is the word I'm looking for. So it would be nice to be able to, you know, help them in some way and educate them or do something with them so that they're not like useless entities, I guess.
Yeah.
So that would be good, I think.
a change to villagers to reclass them. That I could put that in a fun idea. Oh, I'm like pulsing Foxy. Make me quit pulsing.
Oh yeah,
it's very weird.
So do you want good idea or fun idea?
Fun idea.
Fun idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Fun. I think it's an essential idea that villagers are not useless really, because I mean that would go in line with, you know, adding all of these different new types of skins into Minecraft to make it more inclusive for me. I think this is an essential idea.
Yeah, it could be.
I think it should go in the good ideas bin.
Okay. Well, can we put it to a vote right now?
Ooh, vote to the Discord.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, let's see how many people are actually paying attention.
Okay, so I put vote in the chat. If you could give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on whether you think this needs to be a good idea, let me know.
Yep. Quickly.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to say no to the idea completely. Y'all got like
reactions are broken. Oh no, they're not. There we go.
Yeah. You got like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, well, looks like it passed. Okay, good idea then.
5 up, no down. So there we go. It is indeed a good idea. This is great news. Right, fantastic. Next piece of... Oh, do you want to save your one for the end one, Slack? We've just had a new one posted.
That's a book.
Do you want me to read that one?
Yeah, you can read the book. I'll read
Okay.
LemonAiden here because LemonAiden is amazing. I wish that we could sleep to pass time. You might want the time to be a nighttime, but you have to wait until... Yes, I'm sold on this.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've wanted that for ages. That's going straight in the good ideas bin.
No, straight in the
Do not pass go. Do not go to jail or anything. Just go in the good ideas bin. That's how it works, isn't it?
Yep. So
good. Okay. A new listener we've got called JenFire says, as a builder often working on tall projects, I would love some kind of tether/harness feature so I could anchor myself to a build rather than keep falling or gliding off. Yes, I could use blocks to pillar, but that's a pain to rip down afterwards, and scaffolding's annoying to crouch and place on, and crouching in general on different devices can sometimes be a pain. Example, Foxy, how many times did you fall into your mob farm this season while you were building the skyscraper around it? And mention how annoying it was to get back to the place you were working on. How much easier would it be if you keep yourself from falling off the side without breaking your pinky on the crouch button? We've already discussed this to great lengths. I seem to be on my own with it, Jen, but I'm with you 100%. It's called a grappling hook.
You can have it.
Yes. What, a grappling hook?
Yep, you can have it now. I'll let you have it. Yep.
Yes. Thank you, Jen. Oh, brilliant. And that takes us to the end of this week's wish list, which was quite short and sweet, really, this week. So that's good.
Yeah.
We've now got questions, which I have been pulling out of the live questions, as well as the few that we got in there as well. So we've got a bunch of questions, starting with Fairlight 360. And if you're watching us live right now, if you want to ask a question, now is the time to do so. We will keep going until all of the questions have been read. So don't worry about spamming questions. Just ask questions, okay? Firelight360 says, this might be late, but did you like when they changed it so ores like iron drop raw iron instead of blocks? I didn't at first, but I've got used to it.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a horrible idea, but now I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I love it. I don't like the look of the raw blocks, but they do serve a purpose. I still, when I get them, they don't have a home. Like, I've got all my end chests and everything sorted out. I don't have a home for them, so they just end up in a junk bin somewhere until I remember where they are. I much prefer to silk touch the blocks now and then break them down when I need them, rather than fortune in. So,
I like the, that's kind of a catch there. Yeah, I would agree on that. And I don't like actually smelting them. I like keeping them in their raw form, because once you smelt them, you can't unsmelt them. It's done, so.
Yeah.
That one's a give and take on that one. Right. LemonAiden says, what would you rather? Get better shaders or get an end update? All right. So we take these one at a time. Get better shaders or an end update? Shaders.
An end update. I don't need shaders. I like shaders. I don't need them. I need an end update.
I did not see that one coming from you at all.
Really?
Yeah. So you'd rather stick with RTX and get an end update?
I don't use RTX. I never used shaders
Right,
really, unless I was taking a screenshot. I wouldn't play in them. I certainly wouldn't record videos in them.
That's the person that when they get on Java uses shaders immediately.
Yeah, because that's a bit of fun for a live stream. I wouldn't want to put videos out that are recorded in RTX or shaders. I think it's, and also playing with shaders gives me such a headache because there's so much more going on the screen. That's why I can play Minecraft for hours and never get fatigued. But I can't play any other game that's got like real lighting and bloom and fog effects for long because there's just too much screen noise going on. So
really?
Yeah,
you played the Harry Potter game there like nonstop. Same with Elden Ring.
that's true.
And you played the Star Wars game all the way through.
Which yeah, I did play that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they. Okay, maybe it's because then with Minecraft shaders and RTX, there's always
a big change.
Well, not necessarily a big change, but like whilst it might, if you've got a really good PC, it might update quickly. There's always that lag feeling of it's catching up. Like the light levels take a while to settle down particularly with RTX, but even with shaders, it always feels like there's a lot of work going on, and it doesn't gel quite right because they're not official. They're not made by Mojang. So they're all, I suppose RTX was, but like shaders are made by third parties that don't necessarily, they're not, do you know what I mean? It doesn't gel as well as it does. Like you get a game comes out, it looks the way the game's intended to look and it works. And they've obviously spent a long time making the lighting right and making it work properly and making the performance right. They don't always get it right, but generally speaking, it works. But with Minecraft, you slap a shader on top and you've always got loads of things to tweak. Do you want wobbly leaves? Do you want wobbly water? How strong is the bloom? And it's never 100% right, and I just find it quite fatiguing after a while.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. All right, the next one seems a little bit rough here. Pay the trailer guy more, or continue to do the My Week without paying.
Pay the trailer guy more.
Yeah. That sounds good. And the last one is have another wish list item in the new update, or take out a bug.
Ooh. A new wish list item. I'd love to get my own specific thing in the game.
Yeah, you want the grappling hook. Mm-hmm.
It probably wouldn't even be that. Of all the things we've got in the wish list, I bet there's something I want more than the grappling hook. I just can't remember them all. Dodge rolls is squirrelicious. Yes, dodge roll. That's my one. Dodge roll. Yes.
Okay, you take dodge roll and I'll take grappling hook, okay?
Brilliant. Okay. So you've gone from not wanting grappling hook to now that's your item you haven't put in the game. Your relationship really does make a difference to your opinion, Slack, I'm just saying.
Oh dear God.
Okay. Huge Stormy Owl asks, When you were just getting started with content creation, what was the best piece of advice you received from another person? Did it help you grow? And what advice would you give to others? Oh, geez, Slack. You go first while I think.
Mine, it wasn't necessarily a piece of advice. It was what you said. And I took it to heart from the very beginning. It was dealing with an argument with another group of people that we were having, that your viewers are jewels to be treasured, not cows to be milked.
Yeah, that wasn't, again, not advice I had been given. That's just something I've always tried to live by because I like to think that I would respect other people more.
Yep.
So
I would say the most corny advice is be yourself, but it's so true. Go back to the first season of Truly Bedrock with me and you. Think of how we used to talk. Go back to the episode where I brought you to blaze rods or stuff like that. I did what people thought. I would talk soft and be spoken and make sure that I tried to say all my words, and I would cut everything and edit everything and try to hide my accent and try to be what I guess I wanted other people to perceive as me. Yeah. Whereas when you can get to the point where you're just being you and genuinely you and happy with that, you'll enjoy your content 100 times more.
I think the best piece of advice I was probably given was don't look at the statistics. And there's so much truth in that. you need to look, you need to have an overview. You need to know where things are. You need to know what's performing and what's not. But you don't need to know exactly how many viewers are watching and exactly how much watch time there is, because as soon as you start doing that, you obsess over it, and it creates mental health issues, because the next video comes out, got 1 or 2 less viewers than the last one, and you're all of a sudden on this downward spiral towards, oh, why is everything going wrong?
Yep. And
keeping an overview of it over months rather than days is a much healthier way to look at your analytics and statistics. So whilst we talked about recently having more analytics, particularly like per playlist, would be great, I wouldn't analyze it to the point a lot of people do, where I'm obsessing over the slightest thing. I just want to see, in general, and this is exactly the reason I want that feature. I want that feature, because I want to see in general what's working and what's not. Overview. I don't want the nitty gritty. So yeah, in terms of did it help you grow and what advice would you give to others, there's no way to know if something helps you grow, because there's so many variables and factors. COVID helped me grow, but then it stopped. I don't know whether my actions have helped me grow or whether it's just how things were going to go. I couldn't tell you one specific thing I've done that has helped or hindered my challenge with 100% certainty. So I think that's totally subjective. Or no, not the opposite of subjective. Yeah, it is. It's totally individual to you.
I'd say early on, don't lock yourself into one thing. That would be my advice. Unless you know that you're going to want to play Minecraft forever, and that's exactly what you're going to do, don't lock yourself into it.
Yeah.
Don't lock yourself into just farm videos, and then when you try to do something else, you can't get out of it.
I agree, and I disagree with that. If you focus on one thing and you do it well, you're more likely to grow a channel than you are if you're trying to hit everything. And, take a look at sort of gaming channels that do all the different games.
Make sure you enjoy it. That's the thing.
Exactly. If you enjoy any content you put out, you're going to grow a close community.
Yep.
And that community is much more valuable than having millions of subscribers and millions of, watch time. Whereas if you put out just random content that you don't really like all that much, you didn't really enjoy, but you're doing good quality, you're probably going to get a lot of viewers and watch time, but you're not going to have that community around you, which means you're not. And I think that's far more valuable.
Yeah. So, and enjoying the content you put out. We've had them. I've had them. You've had them. Had days where you needed a video and you just slammed something together just to feed the algorithm, just to do what needed to be done. And you're not happy with that content. It's be happy with what you put out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but be happy. If you want to put out farm videos, do it. If you want to switch 2 weeks in and put out build tutorials, do it. Do what makes you happy and not what YouTube says you need to do.
Exactly. Okay, next question, Slack.
Where we at? Mossy?
Yeah.
Mossy. How do you guys handle the mid-build slump of enthusiasm?
I end up just not finishing it.
Yeah. I'll walk away from it. Yeah. And if I get the motivation to come back to it, I do. And if I don't, it just stays there unfinished.
Yeah. Experience has taught me that I shouldn't take on big builds, because I know I will get fatigued halfway through and just give up on it. I still do sometimes, but I still, I try very hard to keep things modular and do little things at a time. Like these skyscrapers I'm doing. I'm really not I don't like building the skyscraper on the outside. I don't want to do it, but I know I have to. But that's the sort of thing I can chug out in a couple of streams. Whereas the bit I enjoy, actually building the farms on the inside and making them fit and how's it all going to go together, I enjoy that. So I don't mind doing that. I wouldn't just build a village full of skyscrapers with nothing in them, because it wouldn't
be fun.
Yeah, I'd get to like maybe half of one done and go, I can't be bothered with this.
Yeah, that's why I like organic builds. Like, I can't do structured. I'll tell you this, and this is probably going to surprise you, and it's probably even going to surprise the person sitting next to me here. I hated the dragon. I hated it.
Jen's dragon?
The dragon was beautiful. I hated building it.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
It was already lined out block for block. I had to do this. I had no control in it. It's like the pyramid. I did not like the pyramid, because once I got one corner set, then I had to mirror that on all sides.
Yeah, you're just repeating the process. And it's like the pyramid, at least it's a simple enough block palette. When it was that dragon, it's like, oh, I got to put that block there, going back into my inventory, get one of those blocks and put that there, go back in my inventory, no.
I didn't hate the dragon. It was the build process of the dragon. Like you doing the skyscrapers right now, I couldn't do it.
No.
I couldn't. I wouldn't. Nope. I would build the Netherrack Mountain 5 times again before I built 5 skyscrapers. Yep.
Yeah, I don't mind rinse repeat if it's easy, if it's not a big block palette. If you can just dump a whole bunch of the same block in your inventory and just go around and do it, great. I'm happy. I'll do that all day long. But just delicate, intricate, gradiented builds, I hate doing them. I like the look of them. I just no.
It's like the Netherrack Mountain. I almost quit mid-season on it, didn't I? Because I couldn't figure out the entrance. You were talking about how do you deal with a mid-build slump. I had the whole mountain built, and I needed to work on the entrance going in and out of it. And for 2 months, I couldn't think of nothing to do there. Nothing fit right. I would log into TB and be like, I'm ready to record something, and I would look at that entrance and immediately log out.
So there you go, Mossy. That's how you deal with it. You just log out or go do something else. Okay, Out of Dutch says, what do you do to break through a creative block? Which is kind of the same thing, but it's also different. Okay, creative block is kind of like writer's block, isn't it? You've run out of ideas to do something. I go and play some mini games, download a marketplace map, binge a Netflix series,
play another game and find something you like in that game. Be like, how can I do that in Minecraft, but do it different? Yeah.
Mine is just go do something brain numbing that doesn't require any creativity. Because if I take a break from creativity, I just then a few days later start exploding with ideas. So yeah, just do something else.
Yep, I would agree on that.
The only way.
Yep. Right. Mothy is up next, and they say, any predictions for April Fool's update?
They're impossible to predict.
No, I have nothing.
I would be amazed if anyone has ever predicted what they do with those. I'm really looking forward to it.
They're going to cancel Minecraft one. Yeah, they're going to cancel Minecraft this time, yeah.
Well, we've had Minecraft 2.0. We had one block last year. I don't know. Yeah.
No clue.
No. Stitch Fix says, what makes you think the podcast is too long? And are you as disappointed as me that my tagline, Foxy, 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 how's your day, was stolen? Are you disappointed by that, Stitch Fix? I think you should be proud of that the fact that other people are starting to, you've been so present in all of these things, you might as well be written down as a host.
Yeah, you've made an impression that has stuck around.
Yeah, you've come up with something really good fun and people like it. You should be honoured, I think. But yeah, I talked about it earlier. What makes me think the podcast is too long is we've had feedback saying the podcast is too long. That's why.
Oh, yeah, we've intentionally cut them off before because they're like, whoa, we're over 2 hours. We should probably wrap this up,
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't mind. I'd go on if it wasn't too late and, I wasn't tired. I'd carry on, but it's just... the thing is with the podcast, right? You've got no idea how much of it people are listening to. You don't. You see how many people have tuned into it, but you don't know how far they've listened. And from my experience with making YouTube videos, people watch the first 5 seconds and disappear unless they're hooked.
Yep.
With the podcast, how could I expect people that don't even stick around for 30 seconds on a YouTube video to stick around for 2.5 hours, listen to a podcast? And, let's take that to a different degree. I know there's a lot of you here that really enjoy the podcast, and the people that are listening live, are probably going to stick around for a while, although I've seen plenty of people come and plenty of people go, which is absolutely fine. We've all got lives and things to do. Even you guys don't watch all the way through my videos, not all of you, because my statistics say that only a really small percentage of people actually make it to the end.
30 to 50%, yeah. Within the first.
50. I mean, I'd be amazed if I got 50 all the way to the end.
Wow.
So,
that makes it rough. Makes it rough. And it's just the nature of it, too. It's just the absolute nature of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's Stitch Fix again, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's got your tagline, so I'll let you read it,
Okay. Foxy, 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 how's your day? As Minecraft YouTube creators, we relate to you as a creator, not just you playing the game. I don't listen to the Spawn Chunks, but I've personally always been interested in your weeks. I also personally love the dynamic between you guys, so it will be missed. And I don't think the pod is too long. That's not a question, Stitch Fix.
That's feedback. You got that in the wrong category.
That's not me. I copy-paste that from the Discord, mate.
Bad Stitch Fix. Bad. Just bad. Wow. Right. I don't even know if Stitch Fix should get another one, but here it goes. Foxy, how many times have you upgraded your computer? How many times have you changed your office this year?
Okay. I don't like things staying the same. I don't.
Me neither.
I get an itch to, I think it's how I process certain, a bit like the creative block thing. I get to a point where I'm not enjoying doing something as much. And I find just simple things like moving the office around can really give me a new lease of life on making content. And I don't know why, just always have done it. Since I was little, since I was old enough to move a bed on my own, I would move my bedroom around. My mum and dad would often come up and find me dragging, as 6 or 7 years old, wardrobes as far as I could across the room to try and move it around. I always have. I don't know why. I find a change of position can give a new perspective, and it just helps me. So, and the same thing, upgrading my computer is retail therapy. That's what I enjoy. That's what I like. And I sit there and I go, it's already brilliant. But if I had this, and I end up spending a couple of weeks convincing myself why I need it, and then I don't need it. And I know I don't need it, but it makes me feel better.
Every now and again, you make an upgrade that you're like, how did I go without this?
Yeah. But I don't spend money on clothes. I don't spend money on that much food. I don't go out anywhere. Even the holiday, I'm going to a holiday in Spain next week, and my mum's paying for that because she's inviting her whole family over to see her in Spain. I don't spend money. I don't spend money on anything apart from technology. And you say, oh, how do you not spend money on clothes? Because I only buy clothes when I absolutely need them. When all of my socks have fallen to pieces, I go buy more socks and I buy cheap ones. When my t-shirts have got holes in, I replace them with cheap ones. I don't care about style or fashion or anything like that. I just like to be comfortable in what I wear. And I don't see the point in wasting money on branded stuff or like top of the range, this, that, and the other. The only thing I like to have that's of quality in my life is my technology, because I spend my life using it.
Yep. I'd agree on that. Change is good. It's like I've been debating shaving,
I must buy a new SSD once every couple of months. Not that I replace the old one, because I hoard all of my data.
Like I'm running out here. Oh God, I've used over 50% of this hard drive. Need another one.
I bought a 4 terabyte M.2 drive a couple of weeks ago because I didn't want to lose any more information from my PC, and I needed fast access to it for rendering. So, I see a need, I fill a need.
Well, that works. That works.
Okay, last one, Slack.
No, last one's you. I just read the one before that.
Oh, did you? Okay. Auntie Dizzy says, this isn't actually a question. This is a piece of feedback, I think, but it was just dropped into the Discord, so I'm going to ask it now.
Okay.
I love the freeze mobs idea. How about freeze stone? End blocks like the endermite blocks that occurred sporadic. When you get them, you can grind them into end stone powder and baby dragons you can ride. There's so many things going on with Auntie Dizzy. I got lost.
Too many things.
It started off with freezing mobs, and then we ended up with baby dragons we can ride.
Yeah, that was a big jump. That was a big jump from baby mobs to rideable dragons. Come on now.
Jeez, Auntie Dizzy. Keep it simple, stupid. Jeez. Okay. The last question is actually from me, Slack. And this is something that we don't have to do. We can talk about it. You can say, shut up, Foxy. We'll talk about that in private. It's totally fine. But now that we obviously mentioned earlier about doing this as a live thing every week for everybody, not just the patrons, which we agreed on. What if instead of streaming it to the Discord, we set up a Minecraft Update podcast Twitch channel and streamed it live on there? And then the VOD can go out on the second channel that I don't have to edit. So I'm only editing the actual main podcast. And then we've got interaction there as well. and ability to possibly grow our channel, our podcast a little bit more, get a few more eyes on it that we might not have had previously. What do you think?
I'm not opposed to the idea. Now, not everybody can take part in live streams. Some people can't get onto Twitch or anything like that. I mean, there is
multi-stream.
Yeah, if you multi-stream, you can't monetize though, especially for Twitch.
You can.
Have they changed that?
Yes. Keeping your eye on the chat is difficult, but it's not impossible. But then if you're doing a podcast, you're probably not looking at the chat all that much anyway, because you're focused on what you're talking about.
Yeah, except for certain parts of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Global Rhino says Twitch stream would be good. Out of Dutch says I think it'd be cool. Any other thoughts from people in the Discord that are listening now? Would it be more convenient? We get a lot of people say they can't join the Discord. We get a lot more people say they can't join the Discord than people say that they can't watch Twitch, right?
Yeah, I would agree on that statement. Yeah.
Oh, we got 2 more questions that have just been thrown in the questions chat as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
So I think we should look into that, because I think that would give us a nice. It would just round us off a bit more. We got the video VODs going out onto the YouTube, which is. It doesn't get as many new viewers, but it does some. We've got the podcast obviously going out to all the places. You're never going to get new viewers in Discord because you're only going to get people there that are already aware of it, right?
But we could still at the same time, we could be sitting in a Discord chat where people could sit here directly if they wanted to, and you could still stream it directly here. We got a live chat here that we could watch. You have a Twitch chat over there that you could watch.
And even if you third monitor,
I'm going to need one too, but no, I'm not opposed to it. You got the internet, you got the technology.
Yeah, I mean, literally what I'm doing now, I've got it in OBS, and I'm sending a virtual camera to Discord as my webcam, effectively. But there's a button there that says start streaming, so I could easily just click that and be streaming on Twitch.
I'm fine with the idea.
It literally wouldn't make any difference.
It's also new exposure.
Exactly,
and it's something that I've never seen nobody else really do. Live streaming a podcast, and then there's the return for it. I'm not opposed. No.
Actually, technically I have, although I don't watch them because it's always on at an unusual time, but the Computer Game Show podcast, they do theirs as a live stream every week as well now. They've only just recently started doing that, but they do that. And obviously Linus Tactics One Show is live streamed every week as well. In fact, they don't even record it just as a podcast. They do edit it and put it out as a podcast, but it is mainly a live event. So
yeah, because I was thinking that it could be a little bit more interesting if, like, while in the middle of the podcast, you seen something come up on Twitch that had to be addressed or dealt with, or maybe like in between sections, we could take a look. Like, so we have the Our Week section, then we go into the news update. Okay. And then after the news, you can have, if there's any feedback from either Twitch or whatever, that can be included or excluded. You know what I mean? I like the idea. I do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it would develop naturally anyway. I think it would just become we just sit and talk to chat for a minute or two, and then carry on. And I don't think that would be an awful thing to have in the actual main podcast either. So
no, I don't think it would neither, because that would actually encourage, like, say if somebody was listening on whatever Spotify or Amazon or something like that, and be like, oh, I could catch this while it's live, and I could get my question asked then. That might drive people more to Twitch or to the Discord, which all of it helps with exposure. I'm not opposed.
Okay, well, we'll definitely look into that then. And now I'm not going to say next week because I'm not going to be here.
Yeah.
Well, I am technically, yes, I am going to be here next week. The week after, I'm not going to be here. But I think it would be too much to do for next week with me going away the week after. So let's concentrate on that for after the Easter holidays.
Yeah.
And we'll look at that. And then actually, hang on a minute, what's that say? But they can multi-stream and monetize because their contracts are grandfathered. So are you sure you would be able to multi-stream and monetize? I wouldn't be doing it off my channel. It'll be a new channel.
Yeah, it'd be a totally separate channel. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, 3 more questions then, starting with Stitch Fix again, Slack.
Stitch Fix says, will you try to replace Jesse B?
Not anytime soon. I have no intention of doing that. For me, Jesse B's unreplaceable. I can't think of anybody I know that I would fill that void. And I feel like that would be a little bit not a very nice thing to do either at this point.
Yeah, I don't feel that it would be an appropriate thing. And I don't want this to sound the wrong way. With less people involved, it makes scheduling a little bit easier.
Yeah,
And I don't want that to sound wrong at all. But when there's only 2 of us, scheduling is a lot easier than when there was 3 of us.
Yeah, although we don't have that safety net, as if one of you 2 are ill or busy, then
Yeah.
yeah. But no, not anytime soon. I would love to have a 3rd member of the podcast in the future at some point, because I think it's nice when you've got 3 people bouncing off each other, but it would have to be the right person, and I would like it to be ideally another female as well, because I really enjoyed Jessie's perspective that we probably just wouldn't have given. So yeah. Okay, next one's from Squirrelicious. Says, now it has video. Do you think the podcast should have its own YouTube channel? I wouldn't mind doing that. My only thing with that is it will all of a sudden go from getting sort of 300 to 500 views per video upload on my second channel to getting none.
It'll get
and also
none,
lose
and
the
you
monetization.
have to, you'd lose the monetization from it and everything, and it'd have to be grown from scratch.
I would rather rename my Foxy2 channel to the Minecraft Update podcast channel. But then I think I get a lot of people unsubscribing because that's not what they're expecting.
True, it is not what they're expecting, but then you would have to have somewhere else to put your VODs and everything else, you know?
Yeah, that's true. We'll see how things go if we ever get to a point where we think that's necessary. But for now, it's fine.
Yeah, for now, it's perfectly fine. Yep.
Yeah.
Next up, we got a wire guide that says you have to pick one, and to add dodge roll or grappling hook, the other goes away forever.
Oh, dodge roll or grappling hook. The other one will never exist. Man, I love dodge roll and I love grappling hook. I think I picked grappling hook. I know I just said I wanted dodge roll in the game most, but when you ask it like that, you could do so much more with grappling hook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
For dodge roll to be useful and exciting, the mobs would have to be seriously
amped
overhauled.
Up. Yeah. I mean, you can dodge skeletons on Bedrock Edition easy. Try dodging them on Java. It's a lot harder. Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Stitch Fix again says, have you thought about, I've just pasted that one twice. Have you thought about naming your community like some big YouTubers do? I think that should be something that the community comes up with themselves. I don't feel like, I don't know. I feel it's like really weird giving people like a name, like, oh, it's my Fox Cubs, or, you know, I don't like it. If you guys start calling yourself something, fine, and I'll stick with it and I'll run with it, but I wouldn't want to do that.
Well, mine's kind of got a nickname of Slackpack, and they've kind of developed it on their own from doing raids on Twitch and stuff like that when streams are over. Hashtag Slackpack raid and stuff like that. So, but as far as my YouTube, my YouTube audience it's a different audience than your Twitch audience. So, yeah, no, that would have to be something that came from the community more or less for YouTube.
Yeah, something that evolves naturally. So I never had a nickname. I've never had a nickname, and I know a lot of people give themselves their own nickname when they're younger. I just feel really awkward about doing that. And it's like when you're signing up to like a gaming service or something, and you're trying to come up with a username. So many people like do King this or the other, or like best this person, or, you know. And I'm trying to think of something that's what doesn't make me sound like some sort of egotistical idiot that also doesn't make me sound like, you know, I'm just, I really struggle with stuff like that. So,
okay, here's an oddball question for you. Is Foxy your nickname or you?
It's neither. Instead, in my head, FoxyNoTail's still not me. It's still a character.
See, SlackLizard is a character, but to me, I am Slack.
Yeah, you're Slack to me. And I guess Foxy, I am Foxy to a lot of people, and I've started warming to that now. FoxyNoTail, absolutely not. FoxyNoTail is a character.
Yeah, SlackLizard is the content creator, but I am Slack.
Yeah. See, I refer to you as Slack when I'm talking to people at home.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
and I refer to you. Yeah, it's Foxy, yeah. Even though I know your real name, you know my real name, but it's just like, no.
It feels weird using your real name.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's funny. Jen, I love her to death. She calls me Slack.
Yeah.
In real life, yeah. It happens.
It's your name, buddy. It's your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird, isn't it? Right, if we haven't got any more questions, then I'm afraid we have run to the end of this week's podcast. If you would like to ask us a question for next week's podcast, then you do it.
Hold on. Try again.
Yeah, exactly. You can by emailing us at news@theminecraftupdate.com or filling in the feedback form on the website or joining the Discord. I just want to remind everybody that we are supported by Patreon. If you've enjoyed this show, and I hope you had, because we made all of the changes for you guys, then you can support us by going to patreon.com/the Minecraft Update. What are you going to be doing this week, Slacks?
Trying to get in normal streams. I'm still struggling to adapt to Minecraft on this because like the frame rate feels odd. Everything just feels odd, but I'm slowly getting there. Videos are probably not going to return until next week or the week after. It's just getting everything situated out right. But other than that, yeah, I'll be in the Discord. I'll be hanging out and all those things. What about you?
I have my glow squid farm video going out hopefully on Saturday. I've edited that, I've rendered it, I just need a thumbnail. I have my just one bug that hasn't been deleted by Mojang. I need a thumbnail for that, and then that's going to go out on Friday. I will be streaming on tomorrow morning, and then we're going to be recording bonus show, and then I hopefully be streaming tomorrow evening as well, depending on how much podcast editing I've got done. And that's it.
Speaking of bonus show, are we going to do the one that me and you talked about? If so, you might need to get a channel set up in the Discord for people asking questions.
Yeah, I think we should leave that till next week. Okay. Because that's a really good one. In fact, let's mention it, and then people can start coming up with ideas for it. I suppose they can throw the questions in the live questions thing. But yeah, do you want to talk about it?
We always get asked. We're going to dedicate a podcast on the show episode, whatever, to purely content creation. We get asked all the time. Like today, we've had several questions where people ask about what's your advice for this? What's your advice for that? So if you have any questions, we're not the experts, but we can tell you our point of view on it. If you have any questions about streaming, YouTubing, thumbnails, Discord, OBS,
technical
anything that you want to ask, if we have an answer to it, we will give you our answer. It may not be the right one, but we can never really go into depth on this subject because it's a Minecraft update podcast, not a content creator podcast. But the bonus one is going to be related to those. So if you have any questions about content creation that you want to ask, make sure we're going to create a channel in the Discord, or we're going to use the questions channel.
Throw them in live questions for now, and if I do create a new channel, then great. But if not, we'll at least have those. So yeah.
So that's going to be something that we're going to be doing there, because we get a lot of questions about it, and we can't never sink all of our time into it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, right. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch, you can do by emailing us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, filling in the feedback form on the website, or joining the Discord. All that's left to say, Slack, is the same thing that I say at the end of every podcast, and that is, if you've just done a podcast with webcams and all the two flashy things, and you feel as energized and pumped as I do, I want to go on for another hour. Let's do this. No, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah. I was just thinking this edit. You not only get audio, but you also got video.
Well, okay, let's just go on for another 20 minutes. Okay, so I am going to spend some money, Slacks. There is an application I come across when I was doing the voiceover guy, the trailer guy voices, called Descript. And I've been watching a load of tutorials on how to use that. Not through, like, just skimming through them because I haven't had time to watch them in depth. But it's designed for podcasters. You drop in a video or an audio file in there. Not only does it transcribe it, but it also picks out all of the different speakers in there, transcribes all their stuff, and in order to edit it, right, and then it comes up with, there's an here, an there, like a word that you probably don't want in there. Do you want us to remove them? And you just go, yeah, get rid of them, and it cuts them out. And then you just cut out, not in the audio, the video itself, like you do in DaVinci. There is just it. You just like, oh, I don't like that sentence, so you just delete that sentence, and it cuts it out of the video, and it does it all. So I'm going to try that this week.
Be interesting. Be curious on how they do the transition and everything in it too.
Well, it's a jump cut.
Just a boop. Boom.
Yeah, boop. Exactly. Boop. So I'm going to try it and see how it gets on. But I was just thinking for these, now that we've got a video thing going, especially if we're going to be going to Twitch for those, I'm just going to upload that straight to YouTube and then just edit the audio one. So it wouldn't obviously have video on it anyway.
Right. Wire Guy says AI video editing. Wow. Yep. 2 weeks from now, Foxy is going to be like, what have you been doing this week, Foxy? Well, I spent all week writing this program.
I don't have to do it. It's all there. I just got to pay £24 a month to use it. So, which, you know, it's our patron money. Day trial says Miss Brown. There is a free version, but that only does 1 hour of video, and we've got like obviously nearly 3 hours already, plus the bonus shows and all that sort of stuff. So no, if that's useful, I'm going to pay for it for a month, see how I get on with it, and if that's useful, I think it would be great.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And it's got like, I don't know whether it'll sound any good or not, but basically you can say, make this sound like I was recording it in a recording studio button, and it just adds all the effects and EQs to your spoken voice. So it's basically supposedly amazing, but we will see. Find out next week. For now, though, time to go.
Oh, what do you say each week, though?
I said it already.
Oh, I feel.
I know, it feels weird, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye.